Hello, everybody. Terry Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer, right here today, Monday, the 28th of June. Yes, my birthday month is coming to a close. Oh dear, oh goodness, oh my. Uh, how the heck are you? I'm going to sit down. I don't know why. I've got so much flowing through the veins that I can't seem to sit still. This is my normal behavior. You can see that I've had rest. And you notice, if you are watching me today live, and if you're not, no worries. Post in the comments where you're from and if you like this. Most of the time, and I was kind of thinking it before, I've been calling it a comfy chat, but I may have a discussion with my husband. Still call it a comfy chat because you guys have gotten so used to the thumbnail, the one that has a little picture inside. But I might just call it I Noticed, because I've been noticing a few things. And we might go down that thing because I tend to talk about that anyway. For those of you who don't know me, I am a Disney Imagineer, more known as the Come Here, Get Away Imagineer. Disney brings me in when they need some extra help, and then they put me back in the box and tuck me away until the next time they need me. In the beginning, I worked very, very much with, I worked 10 years with Disney, and I designed things like the Dragon and the Dragon's Lair in Paris. That's underneath the castle in Paris. And Big Thunder Mountain, and then some attractions like Splash Mountain Tokyo, and the boat that you can see both in Florida and Tokyo, and then little fun, little exciting, little sculpture things you can purchase. If you go to my website, TerriHarden.com, click on online store, you can see what all is there. And I have been with Disney almost as long as I have been alive. At first as a fan, and later I've been with them for over, I'd have to say 40 years. Yeah, 40 years. I just turned 64 on the 21st of this month. And yeah, now the big numbers are coming in. I've always told people over 20 years with Disney, and now I realize it's 40. Woohoo! Other things like the Henson, I met Jim Henson in 1982 and really went to work with the Jim Henson Company zealously in 1989. So how many years is that? 99, 09, so as you can see, 15 years, whatever it is. Anyway, a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of films and TV, as you know, Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Jungle to Jungle, Flintstones movies, Indian in the Cupboard, as a puppeteer. So my history goes long. Google my name. I have a Wikipedia page. It is very, very surprising how much that has happened in my career. But now I'm here. And the reason I'm here is because social media is the future and is the way, right? But you can imagine, as an old dog who, we had phones that were murder weapons. You can't do that with a regular phone today. You'd break the phone before the person's head. We did not, to speak across the globe, to Spain, to Portugal, to the UK, to Canada, etc., cost a week's paycheck, if not more. And now it's as simple as an app or something like this, which I'm talking to you today. So, and a computer was a huge room filled of things that went and looked a lot like tape, like audio cassette. Oh, Google it. But in any case, now I'm learning. Every day I'm learning, and every day is a new experience. I am a doer. I am a goer. And this is why today I wanted to talk about the benefit of a vacation. Vacations are extremely important, or at least time off for good behavior. And here you are looking at, and I'm just gonna, there we go. Here you are looking at my view from a hotel room. So as I mentioned to my tribe the other day, and I have let me just post it for you, a couple of informational things I can post for you, okay? First of all, my website, which is www.terrihardin.com, and you can go click on online store and learn about my products and stuff, okay? I do mention that I have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TerriHardin, where the tribe gets together, Terri's tribe, a group of people, and we help each other. We help each other to explore new frontiers, to discuss films, to talk about, to just get together and share. During the pandemic, we told stories. We still tell stories. So if you want to go here. It's $5 a month, the base level, and I do a Zoom call, and I do live broadcasts Mondays and Fridays. I do live broadcasts here Mondays and Fridays for the tribe before I come back here, which is why I'm always a minute or so. Sometimes I'm a minute or so late because I haven't been there. I haven't been talking to y'all for over a week, have I? So the importance of it, when you are a goer, and I am a goer, okay, I am, yeah. I'm one of those people that just like crazy lightning fast. I do stuff, and I can't slow down. In fact, I've mentioned that if I'm sitting still, my foot goes. There's all of this energy, and you'll find out this is why they call me Tigger. Those of you who know me, this is why they call me Tigger. But those of you who don't, this is why they call me Tigger. I do puppets, I sculpt, I paint, I write, I run, I've been films, TV, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so one of the things that is difficult about a doer, if this is you, is that you find that sitting still is not in your wheelhouse. You understand the term wheelhouse? It's not in your tool set. Sitting still is not easy to do for us. To sit still, hands on our lap, and watch TV, for example, or sit quietly 2 hours and watch a film. I have actually had to train myself to do this, and it's very important that you do too, doers out there. Now, they'll talk about being lazy. They'll talk about being, you'll hear people say lazy or sloth-like, or, get up and hit the ground running, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You want to make sure when you're taking time off that you schedule it just like you would schedule all of your work if you're a doer. Because what happens is if you're a doer, you're setting project after 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 project. And there's no time for family. There can be no time for family. There can be no time for rest, no time for relaxation, no time for recharging. This is what's so important if you are someone like me who is, seriously, this is me. All the time, at this level, at this height. People say you're always busy, but do you get stuff done? I'm very busy and I get stuff done, but I have a lot of things to get done. So I kind of dream about sitting on a bench and reading a book, but I am like, the mind. So I scheduled this birthday relaxation because the pandemic has kept me at home, just like many of you, all of you actually. And I thought it would be a chance to breathe. And was I full of baloney? I put out more product last year during the pandemic in 2020 than I have done in a while. And it surprised me. Okay. I took several classes. I taught a pumpkin course. I designed and created Hitchhiking Ghosts, and I designed and created Oswald the Lucky Rabbit with your help. But like I said, just illustrated cachets, on and on and on and on and on. So when someone says to you, don't be lazy. You start to feel like if you take one day that's not moving you forward in your career or your work or your goals, that you're being lazy. And this is just not true. This is just as important. Rest is just as important. Should you take a week? Well, you don't have to. But in my case, to take a day was not enough because I was seriously having trouble resting. I didn't want to not broadcast to you all. This is also part of the projects, right? Things that I do. And I love it. I love what I do. This is the other thing, is when you love what you do, you just do and do and do and do and do and do and do. The problem is I love everything. So this becomes a challenge. And that's why I want you to give yourself permission to take some time off. And it's going, and if you're someone that does not do this well because you're a doer like me, you're going to have to put yourself in training, just like you would if you were going to exercise, or you were going to run a marathon, or you were going to, the Olympics are coming up in July. I'm a little nervous about that, because when a whole country says don't, and the government says we're doing it anyway, that's a little scary. But I digress. The Olympics, they're training, they're laser focused. You got to say what's your goal. And if your goal is rest, you've got to set some parameters for yourself. And you don't necessarily want to bite off a big chunk, okay? But little chunks may not be enough. And we tried that, my husband and I. Well, we do 1 day and 7 to rest for family. I schedule that just as much as I schedule any other thing that I do professionally. Now, family may say, why do you have to schedule me? You shouldn't schedule me. It should just come naturally. I like that. I love that. It doesn't. It needs to be scheduled. It needs to be agreed upon and scheduled. And my husband and I have been doing this for some time now. We have scheduled Sundays as our family day. Most of the time, my phone is off. I have a signal with my immediate family. So if there's an emergency, there's a way to get me even when it's family day. But I don't open the computer. I mean, I have to really force myself to announce to you what I'm going to broadcast. You'll notice that last night it happened around midnight when I actually did let you know that I was going to broadcast today. That's because my husband finally went to sleep and I opened the computer and did it. Because on family day, we have rules, and those rules can be broken or bent, but overall, that has to be your goal, is you give yourself time for your family. Otherwise, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And if you throw the baby out with the bathwater, you could find yourself in a situation where you lose the very thing that you are working for. I did this for you, honey. I'm doing this for you. And they go, goodbye. And you don't want that. You don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that you reconnect. My suggestion is you reconnect daily with a touch or a kiss or a cuddle or a I love you, whatever works for your partner or for your kids or whatever, those are the things that happen throughout the week. And then on that day, it's all about the two of you. Okay. And one of the challenges with the pandemic is my husband's family, bless them, always schedule their family call on Lindsay, my husband, and I family day. And we love the whole family, but we really secretly, not so secret now, but we wish that it would be on another day, because Sunday is our day and it's a little challenging. We can't always make it. Okay. It takes 21 days to create a habit. And our habit is everything shuts down. And now visiting on Zoom on Sunday, you see what I'm saying? You're bending it because you love the rest of your family, but you're saying to your family, for years we've been doing this family day. Could you do it on another day? And if they can't do it on another day, because that's the day that the rest of the family works, and why should they change it for just the two of us? Then they hopefully will be understanding if we can't be there every Sunday. Like this Sunday, we were gone. I had a whole week, 7 days of rest, but I needed that because the 1 day of rest, the Sundays were great, but I wasn't recharging. It was kind of like in the old days, and I don't know, many of you could be too young for this, but when you had a battery, I think it was the lithium ones, if you didn't fully charge it and let it completely drain, it did not fully recharge again. So it was like you might let it drain this way and then you tried to recharge it and then it only did this. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so that was me. I was having these little days of recharging, and then I might take an extra day to try and get it back, but it wasn't happening, and things started to fall apart. My stitching started to come loose, if you really want to know. And it was challenging. It was so difficult for me. I found myself maybe making mistakes or not being satisfied by the work I was doing, or getting more and more quick to anger, which happens with the pandemic anyway. So guys, if you find yourself quick to anger and you weren't quick to anger before, understand this could be the pandemic as well. All right. So cut yourself a break. Try to think twice before you actually release that anger on someone, and then you have to apologize for it later. And if you do release it, then apologize for it later. But it's just one of those things. I was too tightly wound. And so I knew I needed a week to unwind, to just reset. And it's very important for you to give yourself permission to do that. So let me show you what we did. Oops, that's not it. That is absolutely not it. I'm going to show you, what do I got? 5 pictures here. Yeah, I didn't take a lot of pictures. Pictures involved the cell phone. I really didn't want to even touch the cell phone, computer, anything social media, electronic. All went away for that whole week because I was that much in need just to be replenished by the ocean. And here is one of my favorite days. I love, as a June baby, June gloom. These June gloom happened 3 or 4 days out of the full vacation I was on. And I absolutely loved it. The mist came off the water. The smell of the water hit my face. And I breathed in, just so happy to be here. So happy to have this. So happy to have a vacation. And there I am, you can see. And if you look under my hair, because my hair is like a blanket itself, you will also see that I'm wrapped up in a fuzzy blanket and I'm looking at the sunset and the water is silver and I'm smiling from the balcony. And I will tell you that I spent most of the time staring. And that's why you see this bubbly, revved up, crazy girl. Now, this is one of the days that when we left, finally, as we come into July, June gloom dissipates, doesn't it? And the heat comes too. Blech. It's the other reason I like living, being near the coast, is that it's so cool. It was about 60 to 75 degrees at the most there. And most of the time it was 68, which is my magic number. So just loved it. But you can see here how beautiful this looks and how calming it looks as you look at it. Here is my birthday dinner. I love fish. You can't see this very well, but I'm eating oysters. I love oysters. And that's another reason I think God put me in June, because it doesn't have an R in it. And many people talk about, if you love oysters as much as one does, that you try not to eat them in a month that has an R in it, so that the beds can be replenished by the oysters and you don't make them extinct. Hard. January, February, March, April. You got to wait till May, June, July, August, and then September, October, November. You don't really have to listen to that, but that's kind of a recommendation. And you're just like, no, I can't, so. But if you try to, curb it a little bit. So June, I had a lot of oysters. I ate a lot of oysters. I love fish. Fish is my favorite food. And then here we are at the sunset at the same restaurant. This is called the Oyster Loft. It's all the same, right? But I'm relaxed. I'm dressed up here. I'm in a terrific mood, and yeah, I think that's the last picture. So wanted to share that with y'all because it does take work if you're a doer to relax. Now, those of you relaxers who are sitting there and actually have had the luxury of saying you're bored, these are words I do not understand. I have never uttered them. They just don't exist for me. I'm bored. If you're bored, send me your hours. I really need more hours than 24 in a day, usually. Just not enough time in a day. And now I'm boots on the ground because I feel so refreshed and happy that I want to get stuff done. And now, as a doer, I got to be careful not to overload myself and do too much. So, with that said, I want to thank you for your patience, and I'm really happy to be back. I look forward to hearing your comments over here and how you are doing and what you've been up to and how is life treating you. But if you are someone who's doing and working really hard, and you find yourself maybe breaking down and crying, or you're quick to anger or whatever, you're gonna need to take some time to do whatever it is for yourself that has nothing to do with moving your career or your goal closer to you. Okay, it's okay to take a break. Now, many people, if you're listening to inspirational tapes or self-help tapes like a Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar or people like that, they're always cautioning you about procrastination. That is so different than taking a break and resting. Okay, I think people are really aware when they're procrastinating. Okay, so for example, I need to see a skin doctor. All right, my husband and I should really be seeing a skin doctor every 6 months, because that's what happens when you're in your age of 60 and you live in California. You want to make sure you don't have anything on your face that could go into skin cancers or whatever. I have been procrastinating on that for some time. Why? Because of the pandemic. And I don't want someone in my face. I didn't want them right there, mask or no mask. I didn't want them this close during the pandemic. So I procrastinated. They wrote to me and said they were clean, they were safe, but I just kept putting it off. That's procrastination. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Postponing also. Okay. Now this week I will, because we've opened up here in California. We still have to be careful, but most of us are vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. So now I'm okay with seeing a skin doctor, and I'm okay with that dance space, even if they have a face shield and a mask, and I can't. I have to take it off. They got to look at my face. They got to look at areas to make sure there's no secrets that, you want to catch this stuff fast if it's there. I'm not saying it is there, but these are preventative, and I make sure I go. I usually go once a year, So I don't procrastinate very often. I did for a while on a couple of things, and it just seems to get worse when you procrastinate on certain things. So I don't procrastinate, but I want you to not use that word if you're resting for a day. If one day you wake up and you just don't feel like moving, check it. Are you just overwhelmed? You can only do so much. I am a Tigger and somewhat of a crazy superwoman. I want to do so many things. I'm up at 6 a.m. I don't go to bed till midnight. I have 6 hours of sleep. I feel that's enough. I can't stay in the bed long enough. And so during my vacation, for the first time in over 2 years, pandemic included, I slept in. First of all, I went to bed at 10 and I slept in until 9 the next day. Completely unheard of. Completely unheard of. But it really taught me how badly my body needed to just chillax, to just let go, and do some things that I've never done. I actually binge watched a TV program. I don't do a lot of that. I binge watch it, but the true correct me if I'm wrong here. You can mention it in the comments, but I think a true meaning of binge watching is that you watch one right after another, one right after the other. You stop, you make lunch, you watch it more, then you stop, make dinner, then you watch it more, then watch it more. Then you go to sleep, then you wake up and you watch it more and you watch it more, and then you stop and you watch it more and you watch it more, and right? Well, this is what we did with a show called Billions, and you can see it on Prime, seasons 1 through 4. If you want to see the 5th season, you're going to have to go into watch Showtime, because it's a Showtime show. But my hotel had Showtime for free. So we watched Billions, one of my favorite shows, but I hadn't watched it because it was on Showtime in a long time. So I binge watched it. I got up early in the morning, sat out, looked at this beautiful ocean view. First thing in the morning, I looked at this view. First thing in the morning, had a coffee or a tea. I'm a tea drinker, so mostly tea. And I looked at this view in the cold air, wrapped up in a blanket with the mist hitting my face and the smell of the sea in my face while my husband slept a little bit. Then I curled back up and did that. Now that, like I said, that first day we were there, that's tea. The first night we were there, I slept in until 9 o'clock, and I woke up to this beautiful view. We took a couple of minutes together to just stand out there and feel the breeze. And then I made breakfast and we sat and relaxed. And then we started talking about what did we want to do. We wanted to go get we wanted to look at bakeries, because my husband wanted to make wanted to do a cake for me. And look, I've already forgot the one thing that I needed to do. Forgive me, I don't usually do this, but I'm working to get back in the groove. There we go. Okay. And so every once in a while I go, oh, and by the way, and oh my goodness. And I could have taken my little dog Rocket with me, but I thought she needed a vacation too, because during the pandemic, she popped her kneecap. She's a tiny dog. She popped her kneecap. It cost us some serious money. She's the $6 million dog. No, it didn't cost $1 million, but that's what it feels like. Anyway, she used to go to a doggy daycare, which put big dogs with little dogs. But now they were telling me that because the vet has told me she can no longer go to that facility anymore. It's too dangerous for her. So she doesn't get to play with dogs. Other dogs, especially during the pandemic. So cute, so adorable that people would stop and visit with her, therefore getting too close to me, couldn't handle it during the pandemic. Is this you? Yeah. So basically what we did is I let her run back and forth in the yard while I sat on the porch, and then they could pet her, they could visit with her, and I was a good distance away. So that was her exercise. And my vet said that was fine because she's a little dog, 7-pounder. She's gained a couple of pounds like I've gained a couple of pounds. So the other thing we're going to do once we get off here is schedule a vet visit for her, because she needs to see the vet, because there's a few things for the doctor for her as well. So this will be a catch-up week. I just have to, as a doer, be careful not to do too much. So if you're that kind of person, if you can completely maybe shut your phone down because you look at social media too much and relax, this is important. This is very important. Also, it's important to understand that, for me to understand, I'm not saying this to you, okay? If what my realizations happen help you, that's what I'm here for, okay? Is I'm noticing this stuff. I'm realizing this stuff. I realize social media is important to reach out people like you. I get to reach more people. I only have so many man hours in the day to do it face-to-face. And then the pandemic hit and there was no face-to-face, which is the way that I learned to communicate. My generation, we communicate face-to-face and, touching, hugs, etc. And that was taken from us. And it was a little challenge for many of us, for most of us, right? So I had to really step up my social media. I learned how to broadcast both on Facebook and YouTube and go live. And if many of you have seen my early live videos, I didn't know how to turn the phone or anything. And now I'm trying to figure out TikTok, and it's a whole new experience. I don't procrastinate. I just have to be met to see what is the point of it. And when I was first introduced to TikTok, I didn't see the point of a silly dance or lip syncing. I just didn't see the point. I'm very busy, okay, doing things, doing stuff and doing this. And I said, I don't know if I want to add TikTok to my plate. Why? I need to understand, justify it, okay? And it was justified for me last week, just before I went on my vacation. I learned the blessing of TikTok. So I do want to add it into my toolbox, but I'm going to have to do it slowly because things come slower. This venue that you're looking at is slower for me than most, okay? This is, you'll notice that I have a lot of live videos. This is because my husband, bless his heart, has worked it out that it works pretty quickly. And as I do it, it doesn't take a lot of thinking to get me up on the air and talking to you. The thinking comes when I talk to you. What am I going to talk about? What's going to happen, right? And this is what I'm noticing. Being a YouTube star is a great thing. 5 million viewers, 10 million viewers, a couple of videos. But with that becomes obligation. And is that you? You know, it sounds delicious when someone's trying to sell you a training course to get you to that. But maybe you think about it as you're going up the ladder. And that's the beautiful thing about losing and gaining weight. You just don't automatically get there either direction. And you can decide along the way your turning point. Maybe I want to be a 4 in my mind, but when I finally get to a size 12, which is where I like to be at 64, I like being a size 12, I can stop there. Now I've got to maintain it. And for me, that's a little more challenging than losing or gaining. I have ways to do that, active ways to lose or gain. But when I'm trying to maintain, that can be very challenging for me. I'm just saying, no matter what that weight is that I want to stay, and I'm not talking about weight, I'm talking about sizes for me mostly. If I want to stay at 12, then I have to maintain. I can't get too little and I can't get too big. You see? So that happens with doing YouTube, Facebook, etc., etc. You can look at these YouTube stars and see they just seem to just fly and float. Well, they didn't get there overnight. It took a lot of work. Oh, sure, there's probably 1 or 2 that were overnight sensations, but for the most part, it takes work. And an overnight sensation, that might not be a good thing. As you're running to catch up, you know, was that overnight sensational thing that I did work for the entire channel, for the entire list of broadcasts that I'm going to do, or did it work for that one? And you got to kind of start to think about where are you that works, that you can swim in waters and keep it consistent, because consistency is the most important. Now, these people who have their 5 million views, their 1 million views, their 100,000 views, or 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers, you know, 1 million subscribers, et cetera, there comes responsibility with that. You know, the money's one thing, but there's responsibility to your viewers. And you got to ask yourself as an artist, turn the light off of you back to me. I, Terri Hardin, what do I want? And what I've decided is that I want viewers who enjoy these lives and enjoy the content that I put out. If you don't enjoy the content that I put out and you don't want to subscribe, that is something that I want to say, good for, you know, okay. I'm not going to be sad and you know, but I appreciate it if you do like it, to subscribe and ring the bell. And as I grow, you'll grow with me, hopefully, you know, because I will tell my stories and my philosophies every Friday. I do an Ask Me Anything. That's because my career is really vast. I have done so many things and worked on so much stuff. I have easily packed 200 years of experience in 64 years, 5'9", little body. And I have to own it. And so I want to share it with you as well. So there's a lot that I've done creatively. I've been creative since I was 3. And I've made a living as an artist since I was 8. So there's lots of things. I can talk to you about puppetry. I can talk to you about Disney and Imagineering. And I don't do cosplay much actively anymore, but I do cosplay costumes. I create them for others. I create puppets for myself and others. So I do little wonderful sculptures. I'm learning to paint. I am improving my drawing. I cook. I cook more than I go out to eat, which is why I can go to such a place like I showed you, because I don't do it often. I love to read, and I love to sew. You can just see. I love to write. I do voiceover work. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I do. But that's what I'm saying. You've got this, that you can be a sponge and ask me anything on the AMAs, and I'll help you with what and if I can't, I most of the time can tell you where to find it. So if you have a dilemma or you have a challenge, join me for the AMAs, because that is something that I think you will enjoy. And if you don't, then you've tried it, right? Try something new. I could be that thing new. I'm always trying something new and experiencing something new, which is why I'm having a challenge with my channel. Many people I watch have a niche and they do such a good job. You know, McKinnon, all about cameras and shooting and, you know, shooting commercials and how your angles and your, you know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to have one thing that you really do. And now he's kind of shifting into coffee, because he's realizing that at a point in there, he was jumping through hoops like a circus dog for the millions of people that watch his channel. And that's what you got to ask yourself. That's why you take a break. Because you go, am I doing what I'm doing that I love, that people are peeking into and experiencing? Or am I, you know, am I, you know, like a circus dog? You see what I'm saying? Are you doing it for you? Are you being sensational because you want viewers? How long can you keep that up? Maybe you can keep that up a long time. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, ask yourself, take those periodic respites, rest stops to find out. Because I realize I don't know if this channel will ever be one single. I'll tell you what is consistent. It will always be my thoughts and my brain, which is why we called it Comfy Chat. I always tell stories and I always talk about stuff. And then I go and talk to you and see what you are thinking. And then we talk that way. Maybe the title's not right. Maybe the whole thing. But all I can do is try. I can't let that be the barrier. I don't see myself consistently talking to you about drawing. I do consistently see myself talking to you about an artist and being an art and being an artist. I see myself consistently talking about that because that's what I am. Performer, singer, dancer, actor, voiceover artist, sculptor, painter, do the woolly stuff, do the sewing stuff, do the cosplay stuff, show you how to build it, perform it, shoot it, do it. I've got that. I've got all of that, because a door of opportunity would open and I would go through it and worry about if I could do it later. Dragon's Lair fell in my lap. I sort of pushed it. But when I was at Imagineering, they didn't give women the whole land. In fact, when I was there, they panicked and gave me a coworker, a man, to come and work with me on Dragon's Lair. And instead of being upset, I was excited. It was the great Brian Jowers, who, when he paints, it looks like time of day. And I am so blessed to, I thought, and then, and I think now, to be working with such a wonderful person. And that's the beautiful thing about Imagineering, is that you get to work with amazing artists. And when, I don't like to say if, when you get hired by Imagineering, you are the creme de la creme. You get a chance to pat yourself on the back, because Disney doesn't make everybody Imagineers. They're very selective. I'm very blessed. But I have a strong work ethic. I always tell the truth as much as I can. Hopefully aware if I'm not remembering it right, which is something you've got to ask yourself when you're getting in this age bracket. Do I remember it right? But the stories I tell you about people that I've met, and I've met hundreds of people that you all love, Sidney Poitier, Michael Jackson, Elizabeth Taylor, Dolly Parton, on and on and on and on. Some good, some bad, not so good. Michael Jackson, wonderful. Max von Sydow, Nicolas Cage, people, all these people, Johnny Depp, met all these people, worked for these people. They were my colleagues. So I don't have a lot of pictures of me smiling with them because I wasn't in that mindset. I'm really amazed at some of my colleagues who took the time to realize who this person was and actually got a picture of them smiling, with them. But a lot of mine are a little less posed, and kind of work in progress, But the joy of having the opportunities is great. Being a Muppeteer with Jim Henson has been one of the greatest blessings of my life. Have I done it recently? Well, it was the pandemic. I got to talk about dinosaurs. I did dinosaurs for 4 of the 5 years, and got to meet all those people, those wonderful people that I worked with, and talk about dinosaurs. Got to reconnect with some of them during the pandemic, which was just a blessing. It was a lot of fun. But that opportunity of being a Muppeteer gave me the opportunity to meet people like Leonard Nimoy, who I had grown up loving Spock in Star Trek, getting the opportunity to sit down with Dame Judi Dench, who I saw at a Screen Actors Guild event. That's the union that I belong to. And she actually invited me to stay for 20 minutes with myself and another young lady, because we walked up up to the stage at the end, and I just wanted to reach my hand out and thank her for her body of work, because I learned a lot from her. And I learned a lot. Oh, okay. I was like, something fell. And I was like, what fell? But I learned a lot from the people that I was with. Whoopi Goldberg, who I've done 3 films with, is probably one of the greatest mentors I've ever had. And her words, even though I haven't seen her, I think the last film we did was, let's be generous, say the 90s, all right? So it's been a while. But her words are always with me. She's so wise and so terribly smart that her words are in my head often. And that's what happens, is I get together with these people and it happens. So I just am encouraging you to take this opportunity to, on the Ask Me Anythings or on the Mondays when I'm with you, if you have a question, ask it. If I know it, I will tell you. If I don't, I can find out, or help you to find out. But basically, it's going to be my thoughts, my stories, my thinking. And then as I get better, I'm going to pre-record what my life looks like when I'm not doing this. Because my life is like that. Okay. And one of the things I saw about TikTok that I really love is that you got a minute. You got a minute? In fact, yeah. So that's what I've got to learn and I'm very excited to, I'm very, very excited to have the opportunity to work on TikTok, because I was very impressed when I started to see people teaching on TikTok, sharing on TikTok, how to get a pit out of an avocado and not use a knife to twist. I've always taken a knife, hit the avocado with the sharp edge, twist, and popped it. But there's a thing on TikTok, and if you guys are TikTokers, you know what I'm talking about, that you put your thumb and it just pops out. Cut it in half, put your thumb behind it, push back on the skin gently, it pops right out. Who knew this? Or the mason jar that fits the bottom of the blender, so that you can pre-make your stuff in the mason jar, put the mason jar lid, which is designed to preserve, isn't it? And then undo that lid, put the base of your blender on that, flip it over, and blend whatever you're doing in the mason jar, and not have that giant container always getting dirty. This stuff is brilliant. This stuff is brilliant. So this gives me an opportunity to share brilliance, hopefully, of me with you on that venue. But I have to study it first, because for me, the learning curve is not a curve, it's a circle. I do this for a lot. Is this right? How do I do this? Why is there music on TikTok? What if I don't want music? Why is it that music? It's loud. And why does most of the music go up, 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 you know, and I'm like, you know, someone who likes more like kind of music, right? I looked at this little app, this TikTok app, and just go, how do they like, you know, how do we control it? You know, I looked at it, it's kind of a stallion of an app to me, and we need to tame that horse, right? So I'm working on it. I'm learning, but I realize my limitations, okay? But I don't let my limitations stop me, okay? When I first learned how to text, I absolutely did not like it whatsoever. Now it has changed my life because texting helps people to not be on the phone with me too long. Because as you can tell, I can sure talk, can't I? It's not like I woke up and went, I'm talking. If you're ever on the phone with me and you have to do something else, all you have to do is say, Terry, I got to go. I don't get offended. I don't get hurt. But I will say, as you can see today, I can talk. So if you want to leave from here and see this later, I get it. Okay. Right now, these are a little bit longer because the pandemic is on its way out. But I will eventually keep them much, much shorter. I promise you. But TikTok is going to teach me how to do that because I only got a minute. The other thing TikTok's going to help me do is I've done a lot of content that I've pre-recorded. I've done in videos that I'm not live, and I will practice with those. So some will hit, some will don't, and I'm basically just learning. So I just say to people new to TikTok, just learning, figuring it out. Forgive me if it's not right. You got to start somewhere. And any advice you guys wanna, if you go over to TikTok and you find me, I was also advised that I should have my TikTok name the same as my Instagram name. And I got to work on that because TikTok only lets you change your name every 30 days. And I changed it once already. And the reason I did is because someone else had the one that I had, and they wrote to me and said, you got to change your name. So I did. And then they said, you got 30 days to do, you know, if you want to do it again, something more, you do it in 30 days. So I'm learning. And I really appreciate the support that you guys can give me. And if you're a TikToker, I like it when they have views, but I'll tell you, people have taught me things. There's a young girl, she's 20 years old, and she said that TikTok helped her to realize, I think this is what she said, I may have this wrong, but she basically said that she loves to clean, and her channel is about cleaning tips because she loves to clean. She's all about cleaning. And so she gives tips on cleaning, and then she talks about cleaning and why she loves it. And she wants to hit 1 million followers. See, I even got to get the words right. She wants to hit 1 million followers, but she said one of the things about her generation, because she's very young, and understand, guys, when I say very young, remember I'm 64. So very young is in your 20s, and young is anything under 63, okay? So you're all young. You want to feel young? Find someone older. They'll go, oh, you're just a young whippersnapper. But this sweet girl is 20 years old, and she's very, very smart and intelligent. It was lovely to hear. And her message was clear to me. It was so strong, and I'm grateful to her. I can't even remember her name. But she said that she grew up in a generation where they were doing makeup tips, and they were doing fashion things, or they were going to stores, or they were doing silly dances, and she just saw that didn't appeal to her at all. It just didn't resonate with her. That's me too. Okay. It just didn't resonate with me either when I first watched TikTok. It just didn't seem like, you know, I mean, I work hard to fill 30 hours in a 24-hour day. So to sit and do that just didn't seem productive to me. There you go. Doer's mind, right? And she said that she realized that she should just take a breath. And what does she like to do? She loves to clean. So she made her TikTok channel all about cleaning and things like that. So basically, she did what she loves, and she invites you to come along, and that's what I'm doing for you too. If you like what I say to you, or you like my goofiness and knowing when you open this box, it could be anything, then subscribe and be a part of this. That would be great. It would make me feel really honored if you decide to come on board here. If you want more, you can join my Patreon page, patreon.com/Terri Hardin. You can go to my website, terrihardin.com, and check out some of the products that I have. I've got all kinds of cool little things for sale. And there's pins, but then there's also my Hitchhiking Ghost set that glows. I think I've mentioned and showed you that. That has been a challenge for me. I think I mentioned that before. I'm not good at giving away my power, and I've had to have an electronics person work on these ghosts. And if they can't get the supplies in order to put the electronics in the pieces that I have sculpted, boy, is that a mouthful. Let me just find my, there they are. There we go. There we go. And these are them right here. So you can see them for those of you. So these are my glowing ghosts. And I have a few sets available, but they are an investment because they were a lot of work and they were very challenging for me to do. The thing is that I'm just going through I should just look at all the things that I can show you. But I start, as I've said before, I start by sculpting and working it out in clay, what I like to do. And here's Ezra. He was my first attempt back in the day. And then I realized, so if I jump between them, you see how his legs are, you see how his body is. I'm looking to create, I'm not really about copying. I'm about creating an impression of what it is and doing something unique and special for you, the collector. I imagine that there are hundreds of thousands of sets of ghosts on your table. And if you'd like to add another very special, unique Hitchhiking Ghost set, this is what my goal is. So I walk away, I come back, I look at Ezra like this, and now he's different. So you see, we have the hat, but the body just looks weird. And I go really fast. I call this speed sculpting to get the feel of the attitude. I'm looking only for the attitude of the character when I do this. And now you can see that I've settled on the attitude of the character. You see little Gus in the background. But look at Ezra. If you look at that piece, and again, it's very, very rough. You can see it's extremely rough. There's no details in the face. It's blobby. It's basically the attitude. What does the attitude say to you? You can post it in the comments if you want. But the attitude is, I found out, and I still believe that Ezra is the instigator of some of the challenges I'm having as I deliver these sets of ghosts to their adoptive parents. He definitely is the ringleader. I'm going to tell you that right now. You've got Ezra in the corner. And again, it's all about, now there he is finished. So here we go. Here we're looking at what does the body do? When you're sculpting, you want to create an emotion. So when the person looks at it, they feel, bam, that's Ezra. Okay. And if it's not working, go back to the take a break, walk away from him, have a coffee, sit in your garden if you can. Or if you're a doer, go to a project that has nothing to do with the Hitchhiking Ghosts. If you're doing Hitchhiking Ghosts like I'm doing, I went over and worked on a different project. Okay. Then I come back and I see it with fresh eyes, fresh brain. Okay. So here he is all finished. And you can see now he's detailed. You'll notice that white bulgy eye. A lot of times I will do beads for the eyes because they're perfectly symmetrical and round. They work like an eyeball. Not all eyeballs are perfectly round, but I like that. And in his case, I wanted to have that buggy eyeball that I see when I see the ghosts. So there he is, teeth in, everything, and he's all ready to go. We had chats with many of you about should he have slippers on or should he have spats on? And then if we keep going, there's Ezra. There's Gus. Now look at Gus's attitude, if you will. Chilled, relaxed a little bit. Also, every ghost that I looked at from other sculptors or from, mostly I looked at the ones in Disneyland. These are based on the Disneyland ones. And Disneyland set of ghosts, not the Walt Disney World set of ghosts because I'm West Coast. But the fact is to give him a relaxed feeling too, but still giving you that hitchhiking effect. And I also wanted him to be self-contained because that saves you money. But the one thing I saw is Ezra was always holding that heavy ball from the ball and chain. And I decided to give Ezra a rest by putting that ball on the ground. That also creates a 3-point base, which keeps him more stable than if it was only a 2-point base. So all of this thinking is going on as me as a sculptor, making it look good for you, but effective for me so that it will last and not give you trouble. And still, they challenge me because they're ghosts. I have had some challenges with these guys. I'm just going to say, they are little stinkers. Here you can see, again, that kind of relaxed kickback. Why am I showing you this? Because I want you to remember, if you're the adoptive parents and you've been waiting a long time for the ghosts, and I've reached out to you, my manufacturers, due to the pandemic, are just really behind. We only can do 5 a month, and they were supposed to deliver them to me last weekend, and now they're telling me next weekend. But what's next weekend, guys? Next weekend is 4th of July. So how many want to make a bet that they're going to get delivered on the biggest holiday weekend of the year? Yeah, no. So I'm expecting them in 2 weeks. If they come early, and I'm surprised, you can bet dollars to donuts, the adoptive 5 for the month of June will be getting them as quickly as possible. Here he is again, and you can see that the ball is resting on the ground. There's the illustration of the box. I also do a custom box because one of the things I say to people is to create an experience, not just sell a product, okay? So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because they're delayed if you're an adoptive parent. If they look like something you're curious about, feel free to jump over to my website, TERRIHARDIN.com, and go to the online store and check it out and see if you like it. And look around. I've got a pin there for $20. It's a glow-in-the-dark hitchhiking ghost based on my designs. So it's a lot of stuff in there. Okay? But that's what I'm talking about. Go, 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 and go some more, and then go some more. I will also point out that I ask you when I'm sculpting something like this, because you are the people, and you are the people that would be purchasing it. You're my audience. And a lot of times I will ask you, let me say that. I always ask you, why do I do that? Because it's easy for me. I cannot know every Disney character. No, I can't, nor can I feel the same for every Disney character. I have to lean on you for that. So if I want to sculpt Mickey Mouse, I'm like this with Mickey Mouse as far as my attitude. Don't collect him. I need to talk to people who love Mickey Mouse. So I talk to you, and that's what I did with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. I had no idea about Oswald when one of my dearest collectors loved Oswald. And she said it was because he was the representation of never giving up. So I spoke with her, and then when she passed away, I wanted to make sure I released Oswald on schedule. And of course, he was released in early 2020, but I talked with Oswaldians on, tell me about Oswald. How can I learn more about Oswald? Because I hadn't really known a lot about this character, and it's because of all of you. So any artist out there who happens to be doing Disney, it's good to talk to your audience about it. So I bring up the ghosts because the ghosts are delayed. And if you are an adoptive parent, thank you for bearing with me. They are gorgeous. They are spectacular. You won't be disappointed. And they will be coming your way very, very soon. So if you gave me a deadline, they will be there before a deadline. I am crossing my fingers. I really, really don't want to make it so that you are suffering and not getting them when you need them, because you've been so wonderfully understanding about the pandemic. But if you're someone who likes those ghosts and you see that they're a bit pricey, I also have blacklight ghosts that are half the price of the illuminating ghosts, and they are beautiful as well. I don't know. Yes, I do. Here we go. So here also, I don't know if you noticed that these were separate, but they can be separate on your shelf. This camera didn't take them very well, but these are my blacklight ghosts. And this is what happens when you hit them with a blacklight. They're half the price. So they're the same stance and posture. They're just, their finish is different. They don't have electronics in them. So they are hopefully going to get to you sooner than later and However, I'm not making any guarantees. If you decide to order those, I'll write to you and we'll discuss when you need them, and I'll let you know if that's possible. So if that's something you want. And then the bottom line is, the last thing is that I have a pin that is $20 and it glows in the dark, and it too is the Hitchhiking Ghost. So there's lots of stuff if you like Haunted Mansion based on your budget. I try to do that all the time. But basically, the reason I brought this up is because they are delayed. They were supposed to come last week in these next 5, and hopefully they will be here in the next 2 weeks. As soon as they're here, I box them and ship them, because I prep everything else and wait. And as soon as I give them their look-see, check-see, wook-see, keep your eyes open, because I will be dropping a video that sort of shows my process once they arrive, so you can kind of see what it goes through if you're interested, and stuff like that. So the goal for me is to do more of these behind the scenes or what happens in my life videos so you can watch. But that's pretty much what this channel is going to be about: stories from me and what it's like to be doing as much as I do and create as much as I create, and how can you possibly create and sell your own art if you have those questions. I'm perfectly happy to help you. And then I always usually do a retreat. Only 10 people can attend, and we sit with you and talk about your art specifically and how you might monetize it, or what is it you want to do with it and how can I be of help. But I only do 10 people because that's my speed of getting in and getting deep. We spend a weekend together. It includes the thing includes the hotel room. We get creative. If you want to get creative, it's basically anything you want to do, and you've got 9 other people you work with. We all work together. It's a lot of fun. We eat together. We then have a night. We walk. We do walk. It's all kinds of. It's a weekend of it's a weekend retreat, and it's only 10 people. And I will do my next one hopefully in 2022. Yeah. I will start to think more actively about 2022 once we get through the summer. Why? Because I want to know what's going on with this pandemic. I'm not, honestly, again, I'm always working to tell the truth. Honestly, from my heart to yours, I want to make sure that we are actually on the decline. I'm seeing bumps, and so is the CDC. I just don't want to schedule anything too soon. I want people to be solid and feel good about getting together and doing what we're doing in close quarters, and not be fearful of the pandemic. We don't want to spread it. We don't want to hurt it, you know what I'm saying. Okay. So that's that. Let me see. Was there something else I wanted to tell you about? Oh, yes. The dinosaur winners. I went on vacation before I sent them out. So today is also the day I will be addressing. So what I need from you, dinosaur winners, I believe I got you email. Yes, you emailed me or you messaged me your stories. And so the winners, you know who you are. If not, I will be sending you an email or a message based on your winning to get your address. Hard to mail, and this is something that bubbled up when I was on vacation. How do I send them to all of the winners if I don't have your address? So I need your addresses. I will be writing to you and saying, please reciprocate by giving me your address. Then I will get those things in the mail and to you. And then we'll have another contest soon. I've asked you to send in some jokes because I would love to give you a little gift for a good joke. But there hasn't been a lot of response. Maybe jokes are not your thing. And I understand that if it's not. So I'll come up with something else. And maybe I'll show the prize first. And then you can decide whether you want to participate. Okay? All right. Sounds good. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah. So I may start to talk about things that I've noticed, and I'll say this one thing and then we'll move on. But one thing that I really truly have noticed is that people will tend to use the iPhone to film before they help. And I've noticed there's been a lot of challenges out there in the big world with behavioral, like someone will film someone being kicked or beaten, or some things that happen so fast you can't. So you film it and then maybe you help after. But the point is that I hope that you put helping first, as soon as you're done with the filming. I notice a lot of people filming and nobody moving. And I think this is one of the reasons that the girl who filmed the George Foreman thing got was it a Nobel Prize, a Pulitzer, for her filming of it, because that helped. I mean, when you're with authority, I know there's that push me, pull you, do you help? But I'm just noticing that there's a lot more filming and a lot less helping. I'm not saying you, but I am saying that's something that popped up too. Kind of made me, I've seen it, but it hasn't come to the front of my mind. Also, if you're someone who needs to have a conversation with someone, or you need someone to feel free to talk, what's interesting, and I saw this today, a camera sometimes creates a barrier for you. If you need that barrier to where you can ask the question from behind the camera and record the response, sometimes that works better than seeing someone face to face. And I can't even explain to you why, but I do know that in certain situations that can help you to have a conversation that you might not be comfortable with. And maybe you're not even filming, but you're putting that camera up so that both of you feel more comfortable in discussing something that may not come as easily as if you're looking at each other in their faces and stuff. This is one of the things that I saw a documentary where the person doing the documentary said, surprisingly enough, he was filming his family because he had some very serious questions he had to ask them, and decided to record it so we could watch it later, because his anxiety level was pretty high. And so he said, look, I'm just going to ask you guys some questions, answer it freely. And many people said, what are you going to do with this? He said, I don't know what I'm going to do anything with it. I need it for myself. But this is helping me to ask you a question that is very open and forthcoming, that for some reason I can do with this in between. So if you have a situation like that, you might consider that. I don't know if it'll work for you, but I know for some people that especially this guy, and he ended up making a documentary about it. But that documentary he said one of the things he realized was it created that safe space for him and the person being filmed. So, isn't that something? You wouldn't think that. And I don't know how safe a person feels if you're going to make it a documentary and then air it on a, like a Netflix or something. I'm sure he had to talk with them and say, are you okay with me sharing some of this stuff? Now, of course, he's going to edit it down, so maybe the really hardcore stuff, the person says, look, that was you and me. I don't want that out in the airwaves, out into the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, that's my point. That's my point, and we're sticking to it. Okay, let's see what you guys have to say. And these will get shorter, but right now with the pandemic and the transition of the pandemic and the fact that I've been gone for an entire week, I want to catch up with you guys. Thank you, Grim Grinning Tracy. I did have an awesome birthday, and if you guys put birthday wishes on the Facebook or in the comments of YouTube, I apologize. I locked down everything. I did not do a lot of social media at all during my birthday. I just made it all about the ocean and a little binge watching, my favorite drink, coconut rum and Dr. Pepper, while sitting and breathing the smell of the ocean. And it was wonderful. And I want to thank you guys for your wishes ahead of time. I haven't read them all yet. I did have a great vacation. Shelby says, hello, hope you had a great vacation. I did. Much needed. And now I'm ready to hit the ground running again. I could procrastinate and give myself another week, but I won't. Hi, Joe. How are you? Couple of connections with you during the time, because you reached out and had a statement or a question. Many people sang me happy birthday, wrote me the words to happy birthday. I'm so grateful. It was so lovely. I didn't see all of them, but today is one of those days where I'll give myself an hour or two to go through my social media and catch up, make sure there isn't anything that you guys were trying to tell me that I need to know, or I don't want to miss your birthday wishes. You took the time to do that. So I'll be looking at those a few days late, the 28th, but I will be looking at them now that I'm back from vacation. Joe is giving me all, and Jim Henson. Okay. Yeah. Jim Henson. I did meet Jim Henson. I did. In fact, I was designing a show with him that I think I'm going to resurrect. I really am thinking about it. But more on that later. You don't, when you get excited about something, you don't want to throw everything else away. You want to sort of add to. So I have a project list that's like a toilet paper roll, you know. Ay, 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 ay. And I got to tell you that one of the things that happened, and I'm going to just look here on my magic iPad. Isn't it amazing that you can put your portfolio on an iPad now? I used to carry a big zip up thing with, I still have it. I should show it to you, but let me see if I can find what I wanted to discuss with you today. I don't know if I have it in here or where I might have it. Look at my albums and see if I have it. I'm not sure. I have it here. I'm reading. Forgive me, I'm reading. It really would have been great if I had put it in commissions or other sculptures, and I don't have it here, so I'm going to have to look through the Rolodex of things if I'm trying to find it for you, and I hope I can find it for you as I look. But if I can't, I will make sure to show it to you on the AMA. Oh, I do have it. Yay for me, I have it. Okay, so I think we discussed the Roly Crump chess set. There it is. Thank you, Angie. Great to see you. Hi, friends. I did have a lovely vacation, Angie. One of the things is that I did connect with the amazing and stupendous and tremendous Roly Crump, and we are going to be doing the chess set. So that is something I will start in July slowly because I have a few other things that I must do, but like finish up the ghosts. But I am going to start these. So I will be showing them to you. They are something I feel urgent about because I'd love to have Roly and I sitting side by side each other and signing them for you guys. Okay. I want him to, he dreams of having a chess set based on these figures. And we sat and talked over 15 years ago about doing this, but now we've connected again and I've gotten the go ahead from him and his lovely wife. And it's time to get this party started, but save your pennies because they will be an investment. He has some vision that he wants from these, and I'm going to make it happen for him. So those start. I'm going to break ground on those in July. That's going to be one of the Rolodex of things as I continue to work with the ghosts because I'm feeling a little bogged down by the ghosts, a little bit of pressure. So it will help take the pressure off it. But yeah, so that's happening. That is happening. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. So while I leave Richard's whoop, whoop up again, I'll show you them again. This is based on the Museum of the Weird, and it's all Roly. I love these pieces. They will be very detailed. It's taken me a while to figure out how I'm going to do what he wants and make them possibly affordable for people. What's the set size going to be? Is it a set that I send? Do I include a chess board? If I do, what does it look like? Questions. And this is one of the things that I am going to strive to show you on both YouTube, Facebook, and you'll see it earlier on my Patreon page. And actually, if you become a part of Terry's tribe, get more, I'll ask advice too, because this is what we do. We post stuff and we talk about the art. What do you think? How do we do it? Blah, blah, blah. There you have it. Plus, I want to do my own stuff. Oh, really? Yeah. Right now, I'm doing a lot of Disney because you guys need quality work, and I just can't let you guys be stuck on collecting junk. I want it to be good stuff that you get to collect, and there's not a lot out there that I'm seeing. And there are things out there, I'm just not seeing a lot. So I want to make sure that you get stuff that is of good quality. And this was something that Roly is a good friend of mine, a dear man, and y'all love his wild stuff. So this chess set is going to be a big deal. And you can see the squares in the upper right corner where he's writing to me and saying, have some fun. You can see right underneath his signature is a square. That is the normal chess set size for a normal chess piece. The one next to it is the one that he wants. Meaning bigger, more pricey, and probably is a chess set that's going to take up a card table as opposed to a normal chess set. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so lots of hoops to jump through, hurdles to jump over, but I am eager to get started, and I am going to start sometime in July after the 4th, because this is my week of, you know how you go on vacation, especially if you're a doer, and everything like bottles up, and now when you come home, you have this stack of stuff. You almost don't want to go on vacation because the stack of stuff is there. Well, hence, there you go. Crazy, huh? But don't let that stop you. Have that break. You need it. There she is. It was, Janny, a whole 7 days of bliss. And I hope, Janny, that you get the same. I saw that you celebrated you have a June baby of your own, and you celebrated his birthday, and you looked like you might be near the water. So maybe we are kindred spirits in that respect. I'm really eager to get back and get up to talking and speaking live again. And Janny and I and our friend Ivano are talking about doing something cool in Canada. And I'd really like to, for those of you who live in Canada, I love to meet artists from all over the world. It's like my favorite thing to do. So it'll be great to sit there, speak to you, share ideas, and talk about what your challenges are face to face. And I'm hoping maybe to do some of that in 2022. So Janny, I'm rooting for it, and it's so good to see you guys again. And there's the hey, there you are, Nate. Well done, buddy. Well done. Well, you might be out of your car now, right? So I'm sure good to see your voice there. Returning to the offices, Angie, part-time mid-July. I'll only be on the broadcast per week, one broadcast per week, but I'm excited to be back with people. I am excited for you too. It feels like a party, doesn't it? Sitting there and having my meal on my vacation with my husband at a restaurant felt like alien. It was so alien. And that's why we took a picture, because it was like, whoa, wow. It was fabulous. Now, at the hotel where I showed you those great shots of the beach from my balcony on the top floor, I love high floors. They only had 4 stories, so I was on the top 4, like I was on the 4th floor, but I love high floors. I'm just that way. One of the things I enjoyed was looking down from my balcony at fire pits where people were gathered around chatting. You could hear the wonderful hub of conversation coming up, but I didn't want to join any of them. Yeah, no. And the reason was because the pandemic is still out there. The hotel asked if you would keep your mask on when walking through the halls or being on an elevator, which 9 out of 10 people completely ignored. And we read, my husband and I, both ferocious. No, we read a lot. So we read the sign and we did it all the time. And I'm glad we did it, but we didn't look at anybody who didn't do it as being a goofball. We just said, well, that person doesn't read. That's what we said. They just didn't read the sign. Or they ignored it. But I wasn't going to say that, because ignoring is fighting word. But they just didn't read the sign, And we were fine. We wore it, and it was great. And anytime we were outside, we're both fully vaccinated. We could walk freely without a mask. And there were places that didn't mind us coming in without a mask, okay? So we just made the choice ourselves. But there is this very heavy mutant strain. And most of the people that it is killing or putting in the hospital are non-vaccinated people, but we just want to make sure they're protected as much as we are. So we wore the mask a lot of times if there were groups of people. We just We just thought that was the way to go. That was for us while we were there. But it was, we had some cool masks, and I spent most of my time in my hotel. So, but congratulations, Angie. I agree. I loved being in a restaurant where there were people and you could hear that lull or down below, or see people walking the beach. It was lovely. Thank you, Nate. I did get some time away. I scheduled it. And again, like I said before, you got to schedule it. You got to schedule it if you're a busy person, and I'm a busy person, and I'm a busy person doing what I love. But I'm not crazy busy. I'm yeah. And I can't share another project with you right now. I shared it with the tribe, but I can't share it with you guys yet, but I will. And it's another thing that's been on that I did during the pandemic. I was so busy. I was so busy productively during the pandemic. It was a little scary. But I'm also very productive non-pandemic. I work at home. So what's the difference? The difference is to remember that I had to wear a mask a lot of times if I went out. And so I have one in my car, in my purse. There's a little hanging area at our front door. So we were just anywhere time we went out, we had, because forgetful. Always had one in my bag because I could walk out not thinking about something else, delivery or whatever, as an artist, and ba-bam. So thank you, Nate. Thank you very much. I remember when we still had party line phones. Eek, I turned 53 last week. Party line. Isn't that cool? Do you remember, Tracy, when the end of Disney was the marketplace and you could pick up the receiver and listen to a party line at the marketplace at Disneyland? I love that. They may, even though it turned into a Starbucks, they may have kept that. I don't remember. Maybe some of you guys out there know. But I used to love to pick up that party line and listen to it. It was just adorable. Party line, a lot of fun. Before the pandemic, I met a switchboard operator that used to do the switchboard at Disney. They used to be stationed. The switchboard operators used to have their offices above Mr. Lincoln. And they had the windows and they looked out over the courtyard and the firehouse at Disneyland. And she used to do this. And she said it wasn't a big deal. It was a huge deal. And many people didn't even know what she was talking about, but I did. And like Tracy knows. And we said, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And many people remember Lily Tomlin, doing this too. So if you don't remember either, Google it. Us old folks are talking now. Wow, that view from the hotel is beautiful. What a great planet we live on. Angie, absolutely. And I always need one where I can see the ocean and smell the ocean. And I love this. I had several hotels along the coast of California that have a road in between. And the problem with the road is people park and then I can't see the water hit the rocks. I can hear it, but some people who are surfing, sometimes they get in their zip up suit and they're not wearing anything under the wetsuit. So they would stand by their van blocked from the ocean, but not blocked from my hotel room, and strip naked. So I felt, it's not that I'm embarrassed by the human body. I'm an artist. I love it. But I just felt kind of, they're working so hard to be shielded. And then, we got the hotel rooms behind them. Sometimes people forget. But this one was great because the hotel room was over a walkway and then the ocean and the rocks and the beach and everything. No road between me and it. And I really, really enjoyed it. So thank you. Yeah, it is a beautiful view. It was wonderful. Or someone like I used to love to go to Santa Barbara. I had a hotel. Let's take Fess Parker, which is a gorgeous hotel. But you got the room that has the ocean view. So Fess Parker has trees, lawn, road, walkway, then the water. It's just too far away. It's just too far away from me when I'm looking to just kind of decompress. So I like to go up to Santa Barbara for a day or a weekend because then I don't mind. But for one where I really need to come down, I need to hear and feel and taste the ocean. So I was looking for a place to do that, and I think I found it. Yay! It was amazing. Thank you, Alicia. And you don't have to even say belated because I take the whole month. I celebrate every year I'm doing time on planet Earth. I got to tell you, I don't really go, oh, I like it. With each year brings something new. And there's years that I've loved, like when I was 57, I was Heinz 57. When I was 44, I was Colt 44. When I was 55, I liked 55 just because, 55. So I enjoy getting older. I'm grateful for every year I'm on planet Earth. I learn something new, and have time to do more and do something new. So I take the month, is what I'm saying. All of June is my birthday. I start June 1st and I don't stop going, yay, birthday month until June 30th. So thank you. It's so important. We need to recharge. It is, Janny. It is. And Janny is also a doer. Okay. She's a major doer. So if you've ever looked at some of the things that she posts, she is really a doer. I'll take a couple of breaks to eat. I don't know how Janny eats, but I know she takes breaks. It's just that from the content that she provides, it looks like she's, all the time. But she's like me. She has several projects so that you can turn away from one. Even if it's going really well, you go as far as you can. And then sometimes you'll actually stop yourself intentionally. Not that you're having trouble or anything, but you'll step away, have a coffee, make food or whatever, and come back so that you can see it with fresh eyes, so it can be the best that it possibly can be. And that is really important, especially if you're having a challenge with the piece. So if the art piece is giving you trouble, you definitely want to step away. And a lot of times you just keep working it. It's not working. No, more. And you're like, that's not working. You need to step away. Half hour. Give yourself a half hour. If it's a real challenge, come back and the answer will be right before you, like that fast. It's magical. You'll be so surprised, but it is indeed magical. Hello, Holly Mac. June Gloom is the best. Those pictures look so nice. Thank you, Holly. June Gloom is my favorite. I get really upset if I don't get a lot of June Gloom in my birthday month. May tried to take it this year. May tried to take most of my June Gloom. And I had a week in there that was not June Gloom. And right now we don't have June Gloom, which is kind of like, I still have a couple days, guys. But I'm okay because my whole week, birthday week, most of my week at the hotel was June Gloom. So I'm very grateful. And it lasted like the day. The sun could barely make its way through, which is the June Gloom that I like. So Holly's absolutely right. Thank you. Lazy is an offensive word for me, says Tracy. Some folks have med issues that keep them down and immobile. The label of lazy presumes one not moving by choice. Most of the time that is true, but not always. Exactly. I think the point here, and Tracy is correct, is that you cannot make the word lazy label everybody who isn't moving. Okay? Just because they're not moving, or they're moving on a scooter, or they are, in the beach laying for the whole day. You can't really call that lazy, If you're lazy, you know who you are. Everything about you is lazy. That word will fit. You know who you are. But we're not going to say you are. Okay? At least I won't. I won't say you are. But what one tells themselves, especially doers, is, am I being lazy? Should I not be, you kick back for a day because you really need it. But in your head, you're like, oh, I'm just being lazy. I really should get up and do this thing and this thing and this thing. And then before you know it, you haven't had your day to recharge because you're too busy thinking, playing mind games with yourself, telling yourself you don't deserve it. Whatever that formulates into, you've got to work to not do that. And understand, if you haven't been resting in a while and you finally try and do this rest thing that I've suggested, you schedule yourself some rest, you doers out there. And it doesn't work. You're only able to do it for 2 or 3 hours or maybe 4 hours. Pat yourself on the back. Don't tell yourself you're don't get angry at yourself or don't get upset with yourself. Congratulate yourself for being able to sit still for 1, 2, 3 hours, and then just extend it like exercise. Okay. Exercise is something that you don't jump up and run a marathon from cold feet. You're going to be all messed up. It's the same with if you try to rest a week, it could have an adverse effect if you're constantly telling you're putting poison in your head of, I'm just being lazy. I'm just being lazy. You don't want to say that. I agree with Tracy. Don't label yourself as lazy, especially if you're a doer, because that's not it. You are recharging your batteries, and that's what you need to do. I am so grateful to have taken 7 days. I have not taken 7 days to relax since before the pandemic. I was a hit the ground running gal since December 2018. My flights during 2019 were so many I should have wings on my back. I flew over 60 some odd times. And that's like not wonder. I would puddle jump through states, and I was speaking all over the world, and delivering the message because I love it. I really do. I did have to come back in 2019 and say to myself, that's a bit too much. My family suffered, my dog and my husband and my family. That was hard on them. So I needed to now find the balance. I did the whole thing and loved the whole thing and spoke all over the world and got paid to speak, and it was lovely. But now I've got to now balance that. And I was working on balancing it in 2020 when the pandemic said, you get to stay home for the whole year. So my family had tons of me, my husband, more, my husband and my dog, more than they ever dreamed for. We all were like that. We all had family for over a year. I didn't get to speak to my father, sister, or my mother, but I did, my husband and I, where we called it rehearsed retirement. And it was cool. So, we went this way. I went this way, traveling, speaking. And then I went the other way and did the other. All the time sculpting and all the time inspiring. I love to inspire people and help them move forward. It makes me feel a whole lot better. So there you go. KD, there you are. At least the music isn't It's a Small World, and the circle you're stuck in is the singing doll you see. Yeah, really. You bring up a good point, Katie, because I can only see It's a Small World during Christmas, because then they don't play that track all the way around. Biggest shocker when I got hired at Imagineering was asked to guess the most popular ride at Disneyland. And the answer is It's a Small World. You can bet I did not have that answer. I could not believe it when they told me. I thought they were punking me. No way. Check your records. It can't be possibly true, but it is. And that surprised me, which is one of the reasons they try to have an It's a Small World or something like it in other parks, because it's so popular. And it's not one of my favorites. And I only see it during Christmas. I do think it's lovely during Christmas, but personally, no. But, that's what I'm talking about. The one thing about Disneyland is there's something for everybody. What do you love and what do you ride often over and over and over again? When I was a kid, it was the Jungle Cruise over and over and over again, only tempered by Mr. Toad's, because I loved going to hell and living to talk about it. So I fight to keep Mr. Toad's. I do, because I love it. So Katie, you're absolutely right. 100%. You can look up other music on TikTok. Also, I have figured out stuff yet. She's working on it too then. Yeah. So she's saying I can look up music. I saw the look up, but music isn't my wheelhouse. Okay. When I hear it, I like it. So my first TikTok, I found a little thing from Harry Potter to show the ghostly sounds of my hitchhiking ghosts. I thought that kind of fit. And then the second one was one that just made me kind of feel bouncy, tiggery, and I put it on. And I don't know rock groups and stuff. When I was young, I listened to Jethro Tull And I loved Songs of the Woods, and my husband will probably say it's Songs from the Woods, but you get which one, the sort of Renaissance-y sounding one that I believe it was Ian Anderson sang with his group. I loved Jethro Tull, and John Denver had every one of John Denver's albums, and Casey and the Sunshine Band. Casey and the Sunshine Band, not because of the lyrics. That's the way, I like it, That's the whole song. Just repeat and repeat and repeat over and over and again. I'll spare you. But the brass. Dun, 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 dun. I love brass. I love hearing the horns, the sax, etc. So that's why I like that. Dun, 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 you know. So, or the theme to the Johnny Quest cartoon, which again is horns and boom, 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 boom. So I love that too. I love drum and percussion. I love percussion and the horns. So yeah, pretty excited about that. But my point is, Janny and all, I don't know music. Okay. You can talk to me about someone and I may look at you like, who, if it's not an older rock group or band. Like when my stepson's son told me about a group called Hootie and the Blowfish. I thought the name was really cute, but I had no idea who they were. And so my son pulled up some of their music, and the music is very good. God bless Kenny Chesney, who walked in to my husband's family knows him very, very well, really well. And I thought he was a homeless guy that got through the fence. So I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you the truth. He's a lovely person, Kenny. He's a dear, 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 generous, generous man. And after speaking with him and his girlfriend, and I haven't been able to talk to them in some time, so who knows what, I had read about some changes in his life, but he's such a generous human being and such a warm human being. And I started to listen to his music because of the man, not get inspired by the man because of his music, because music is not the waters within which I swim. I am all about film, television, and animation. Yeah, those are the things. As a kid, I loved films from a very young age. Loved 1950s horror films. And I still connect with a lot of people on that level. Yeah. The Giant Claw, Brain from Planet Eris, Day the Earth Stood Still, stuff like that. Yeah, you probably only know the last one if that's not your wheelhouse. Black and White makes me crazy. Love Black and White. Have always loved Black and White. And so films and things like that really, really are where I swim. And I may not remember all the actors in it, but I certainly know the film. And what were we watching? Well, Billions. This is one of the reasons the show I mentioned earlier that I binge watched called Billions. I watched it with my husband because one of the things about Billions is they too are like me in that the writers and the premise loves mentioning scenes from films. And they don't say like in the scene from Goodfellas or like in the scene from The Godfather. They don't say that. They just quote the lines. And that's my husband or me. I try to get up. They keep pulling me back in. Stuff like that, make my day, make my day, or I'll be back, stuff like that. They just say it. And then you go, oh, and you can say the movie, that's if that is the waters within in which you swim. So the music part of it on TikTok, which it's very, very based in music. Most of the stuff I've got to hear because looking at it, I have no idea who these people are at all. Okay. So, I look to be educated by music people. If it's someone, I think I was visiting a person in Florida and my friend John in Florida, and he likes to watch the Grammys, right? That's the music one, right? You see what I'm saying? I'm being honest. He likes to watch the Grammys. I had never watched the Grammys. I'm Academy Awards girl, okay? And he's watching the Grammys, and most of the music just didn't resonate with me, to be honest. But then there was, and rap music, absolutely no, it just does not do it for me. But except for one person, one amazing person that just blew me across the room. And had it not been for John saying, I want to watch the Grammys, and because I love him and I'm in his home, I did not say, oh, no, I don't want to watch the Grammys. Ew, ew, ew. I said, yeah, let's watch the Grammys. I'd never watched them. And Chance the Rapper came on. And to this day, I think my rapper is always and forever will be one, and that's Chance the Rapper. One of the reasons I love it is that he mixes it with gospel. And I love gospel music. And I am a religious movie fanatic. If you're going to tell me a religious story, I'm there. Good, bad, and don't care. Love them. Love them. 10 Commandments, one of my favorite movies. And so Chance the Rapper putting gospel and choir music in with his rapping, I couldn't believe how my whole body just went crazy over Chance the Rapper. So there are people that can still do it, but a lot of my stuff is in the past, a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. I really do know what an iPod is. I had one. A Walkman is. I had one. I thought I might still have it because I save everything. But yeah, so there you go. There you go. But Janny, thank you. We need to have a talk, and maybe we can share our TikTok talk between us to help us get through this and understand this new and an interesting enigma called the TikTok. Infectious goofiness. Yes, that's me for sure. That's me for sure. Goofy, silly, upbeat. My husband said to me yesterday, was so sweet. He says, you are upbeat 98.9% of the time. And I thought he was being so generous, because there are those times when you burn as bright as I do, that the darkness can come and be very dark. And when it's very dark, the first thing I want to do is get out of it, because it's not me. But sometimes you have to work slowly to get out of it. And I've taken a couple of hits like that. And many of you who watch my YouTube channel or are part of my tribe know exactly what I'm talking about, because on my tribe, I will tend to be more honest about my feelings with the tribe, because you are my closest there on Patreon. And so I know that you will help me through it. Not that you wouldn't help me through it here, but this is public and that's private. So that's the difference. But it does happen. And I can't, again, beat myself up about it. Bright candles can sometimes go very dark for a while, but I am happy that at 99% of the time, it's not like that. I am a perky, smiley, happy person. Do you feel that you've always felt a connection with one of the three ghosts? For me, I have always been a Phineas, but I have no clue why. You know, I've had an eerie, not necessarily with the ghosts. However, I do love Little Gus. And I'm not sure why I love, just like you don't know why you're a Phineas fan, I love Little Gus. I can't even tell you why. I just think, I don't know. Just like you, I don't know. I like Little Gus. But I have an unusual connection to the Disney brand. The Disney brand, maybe it's because I lived in California, I'm born and raised here, and Disneyland was my favorite place to go in the world until I actually got a job, and then I really loved it. But that's the thing. I like Disney enthusiasts, many of you out there, you protect it, you love it, you support it, you want to be a part of it. And it's getting more and more challenging, isn't it? With the price of a ticket and now no passes for pass holders, we're all kind of having our feet kicking, going, what's next? But I love the company. I love the brand. I love being a part of it. I really adore being an Imagineer. It's a great honor. I just think it's time for them to make me a legend. Honesty, I should be a Disney legend. I have rides and attractions all over the world that I have built for the company. And there are many people who all they did was a voice. And I'm not saying just the voice doesn't mean a legend, but I don't think that's, they didn't give them to just voices. They rarely gave them to voices, actually. They gave people for their body of work. And yet some people are getting it because of who they are and they did a voice. So that just tells me, don't tell yourself that you don't deserve to be a legend. You do, and I do. So I'm saying it's time. Hello, Disney. to make Terry a Disney legend. But Terri Hardin, spelled right, as a Disney legend. I'd be a real good conscientious one because I am. I'm a Disney legend already. But I'd really love, that's the one award I would really love to have, even more than an Academy Award. I would love that because I am a Disney legend. I would just like to have that in my house. That label. That's the one label I like. You know, some people like other labels. I would like that label. Yep. And to meet Clint Eastwood, because I've met a lot of people I'd also like to meet Clint Eastwood. I'm just putting it out there. Never be afraid to put it out there. Okay? Okay. Everything is a lesson with me, right? Well, I want it to be mostly about you. Okay. I tell you about me in hopes to help you to feel why you're such a blessing on earth. Okay. You are a blessing on earth. I mean, honestly, you know, I'm very different looking. I was bullied as a kid. You know, things didn't always go perfectly for me. Like things don't always go perfectly for everybody else, but there's no reason that you cannot wake up the next day and say, what are you going to make different? Because you are as magical as Harry Potter. You can do that. You can just make the next day more interesting. Incremental is probably, you know, but still you've got that power. Others do not. Have a good week, Tracy. Off to have a doctor's appointment. Good for you. Thank you for reminding me. I got to do the same thing. I love you, Tracy. Nate, they are absolutely worth the wait. Yes, thank you. He means the ghosts. Yes, the ghosts are absolutely worth the wait. And thank you for waiting because they are lovely. And thank you for saying that, Nate. It's one thing for me saying it myself, but Nate is one of the people that is an adoptive parent of the ghosts, and he can tell you. So looking forward to the next retreat. Definitely do not want to rush 2021 by, but I'm definitely excited. Yes, the retreat, Nate and Kevin, the two of them have already sort of done a pre-sign up. So their names are on the list and I only can take 10. So they took the initiative and said, I want to be on it. And then I told him, I said, this is what it costs. This is what the price is. He said, yeah, we both want to do it. So I put his name on the list. He's on. So now there's only 8 spots for 2021, 2022, because we're not doing one this year. Nope. We weren't going to do that. LOL, you called him George Foreman instead of Floyd. Oh, sorry. Isn't that, see what I mean? So I'm not necessarily back. Sorry, George Foreman, because you're still alive. And all of your kids were probably like, we didn't get hurt. George Foreman and George Foreman and George and George and George and George. Yes, sorry to the George Floyd people. It was a honest mistake, and I apologize. But you are right. Thank you, Angie, for correcting me. I got to have you guys. I'm so glad you guys have my back, because I think I said on one of my other broadcasts it was Saturday, and I never broadcast on Saturday. My husband said, why did you say it was Saturday? Like I said, I might be a little too blissful right now. But yes, Floyd was in my head and Foreman came out my mouth. So thank you, Angie, for fixing that for me. She should just have overdubbed it, you know. Gosh, it's terrible. But yes, George Floyd, the woman picked up her camera and recorded it. And in the, you know, you've got police there and you want to help, but you don't know if then, you know, what could it cause more trouble or could it cause less in a situation like that? I think she did exactly what she could, and good for her. And it's helping more and more people, including our authority figures, become more transparent, I hope. So thank you, Angie, for doing that and correcting me, because it is a very serious matter, and to make you giggle was not my intention. So thank you so much for pointing that out to me. I love you guys, man. That's so sweet of you to do that. Good morning. Hope your birthday was as wonderful and relaxing. Ava, it was, and thank you. It was indeed. Off to my appointment. Love you too. Have a wonderful day, and we will chat soon. Yeah, look at that. And you guys take care of each other too. You know, this is where you feel good. You don't want to have regrets. Do something for someone else. You just don't know, if you haven't done it, how absolutely lovely this is. how it just can keep your shoulders from being up around. If you're getting too upset, too depressed, too, just try to do something for someone else, and those shoulders just come down when they smile and they look up at you and they say thank you, or they write you a note and you write them back. You send a photo that someone's requested. My son's not well, but he loves Ghostbusters. Could you sign a photo and send it out? And I did. And it's simple, guys. If you're a Starbucks person, buy the coffee for the person behind you. If not, just make a phone call to someone you haven't talked to in a while. I have a list like that of people. And that's also what bubbled up during my thing. Is there people I should really chat with that I'd like to put a call out and say, hey, it's been a while. I wanted to give you some space, or I tried earlier and then felt maybe you weren't, you didn't answer, because I just thought I'd reach out to you again and tell you I love you. So just because someone hasn't called, it's not because any reflection on you. People are in their own magma, and it's usually not about you. So if they haven't called or they don't answer your text, they could be me. A little slow on the uptake when doing texting and emails and stuff. Just give them the benefit of the doubt, especially during this time with the pandemic. Things are just being thrown at us right and left, aren't they? And you're trying to duck them all, but you can't necessarily. So yeah, give yourself a break and do what you can, and don't try to do too much. If you do too much and you don't finish, don't tell yourself negative things. Stay positive. Make a checklist, and if you can check, like, let's say you have 10 things on your checklist. You may not get all 10 things done, but if you get 3 done, say, hey, I got 3 done, Yeah. Sometimes on Mondays especially, I will have this list and one thing will get done because things get thrown at me. I go, wait, what? Huh? How did that happen? So... So, yeah, we had some work done on the house, and I was cleaning up the counter and found a form where I've got to have a city inspector come out. And I had completely, woohoo! I was in vacation mode. When I came back, I actually saw that paper. So that's something I've got to do too. So now we got dog to the vet, inspector to schedule, groceries, and lunch for my husband. You see how Mondays can just be and you just go, it's craziness. Plus, I'd like to see the news today, because I've been away from the news for a whole week, and I'm not quite sure. Somebody said there was a mask mandate switch. I don't know what it is, so I'm going to need to take a look and see what possibly was the uptake, the downtake. What was it? Because we saw some numbers go up. The people being sick and hospitalized are all those who have not been vaccinated. But I want to make sure, that I'm as up to as current as possible with it as we start to lift and get back to normal life. Because, people are so eager to get to normal life. You forget stuff, don't you? It's not your fault. You just kind of get in your zone and you kind of forget. Like, we had to put masks like on the door, because we were not wearing them. And then all of a sudden, in the halls and the elevator of the hotel, we had to wear them. So they had to be right there to remind us. So whatever you can do to comply as best you can, that's all a person can do. Oh, yes, Bob. Scotland, the amazing Scotland, who we worked on Team America together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, gosh, I met Scott when he was out doing puppets on Venice Beach, I think. Long time ago. Yeah. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but he's a love. He's very talented. Yeah. Exciting. Lowana! Yes, Lowana popped in just to say she remembered party lines. Woohoo! Of course. Yes, indeed. Party lines are just, also, Lowana, as we wrap this up and I say, have a nice week for you guys. Do you remember, and not all of you will, when the phone number had 2 letters in front of it and then the digits? So mine was P-O and then the digits. Yeah. and the dial. So you dial a P, the O, and then the digits. There were no area codes, were there? We remembered when there were no area codes, or when the area code was 818, and then it had to change into, it divided into 213, or it was 213 and it divided into 8. I don't even remember, but I remember that we were kind of like, wait, what's that going to do to our phone, our telephone books? Yeah. And even earlier, for those of you who are younger, the Thomas guides, which were paper maps. I understand they're still doing those, but a lot of it is online. Is that correct? You never went anywhere without a Thomas guide in the back pocket of your car, because if you got lost, it was your saving grace. Now, that is one of my favorite things about the iPhone, is the maps. I did a lot of auditioning in Beverly Hills. When I'm auditioning as an actor, I do a lot of auditioning in Beverly Hills, and this phone has helped me to get out of Beverly Hills to get home, because there's one-way streets, there's permit areas, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. And it was just wild. I was so grateful to have this lovely unit with me to get me out of my audition. It gets me there too, but I found that I could be lost forever in Beverly Hills with the one-way streets, the permit parking, the dead ends, etc., because Beverly Hills is indeed Beverly Hills. So I was just grateful to have my phone, because my phone navigated me all around that, and I just love it. I just love the maps on the phone. I think that is one of the greatest things. And then many of you may use what's it called? I only know it as the Waze, W-A-Z-E. I don't use it to get from A to Z, but Waze has something I love, again, with maps, as when's the best time to leave. So you can actually look, and it gives you kind of traffic, when it's the least traffic and when it's the most traffic, so you can plan your trip so that you don't get yourself stuck in a rush hour. A brilliant thing. I don't use Waze. I use a different map to actually navigate me, but I love Waze for that part of the app. I think that is a genius thing, and I love that it kind of helps you to determine when you're going to leave. Whenever I had to go to Disneyland to visit a collector or someone, I would use Waze to tell me when is a good time and schedule it, let people know that I would be coming down and traveling during that time, because I'm a ways away from it. So yeah, so that's it. Loana, good to see you. You're 100% Disney legend as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Ava. And that's what's important, right? Yeah, right. No, it is. It is. It's like the Academy Award, and I'm glad just being nominated. I think they really are glad just being nominated. I mean, it's the top 5. Well, now what? The top 10 movies? I think it's still top 5 actors, though. It's been the longest time. But I think being nominated is pretty cool. I know if I were nominated for Academy Award, I'd be over the moon, and then you win, I'd pass out. I could just, be like, you really like me, like Sally Fields. You really, really love me, so I think it's great. I still think it's a wonderful honor. Ours was Angelus, A-N. Exactly. See, I knew Loana could help me out here, that she could just, let me point down like that. Loana could help me out here with this, because we have the same experiences as younger people, don't we? Loana, thank you for that, because it's fun to reminisce on stuff like that, right? I always use my GPS. I don't know how I did with the Thomas maps, but I did. Yes. The thing about the Thomas maps is they'd always print an error on the pages, and you just hoped the error wasn't something that you needed to do. I remember even my GPS would have problems. So the wonderful and amazing, and also my boss, Marty Sklar, there was a celebration of life at a synagogue, and I was invited to go. But when I used my map, it took me in a place that was completely weird. I was up on a mountaintop somewhere and I'm like, where is this place? And so I came down the hill and I stopped my car trying to see if I could figure out what I did wrong. And a very nice person pulled up, a chauffeur. God sends you the right people when they do. Anyway, the chauffeur pulled up and I said, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Where is and I named this temple. And he said, oh, it's on this level. Make a right and look for it on the right and turn right into the driveway. And saved me because I was afraid I was going to miss the whole thing. And he really saved my bacon. So it's great when people are so helpful. So, my loves, remember the Ask Me Anything this coming Friday. Get your questions ready. You can ask me in the comments. If you can't wait or you've got a burning question or a burning comment, you can always put it in the comments here on Facebook and YouTube. You can message me. You can email me. I would love to hear from you. I love to hear from you. I will answer your questions. I could be a little bit slow. Give me the benefit of the doubt. That's just me. Some people are better at this thing than others, and I'm about 50-60%. So I'm getting better every day. I keep saying better every day with social media. I believe in it. I love it. And I love being with you. Do something nice for someone else. It'll help you feel so much better. And I will see you Friday. Take care, everyone. I love you. Great to be back. I will see